and so their balance shifts.
We rendezvous with Rochambeau, consolidate their gifts.
We can
We're
end
gonna
this
get
war at
copyrighted.
Yorktown.
Well, I can't do anything about
Want this
that.
to succeed, that is someone else we need.
Okay, we're live. Y'all should really be grateful whoever's watching because I had to sacrifice a pot full of soup.
Oh my god.
I need my right-hand man back.
Get your right-hand man back. You know you gotta get your right-hand man back.
I'm sad I can't listen to it because then my voice is like
Well, too bad for you, Dove. Sounds like a you problem. Ding.
It
They're saying it's too long. Too loud.
It's too loud.
Might need to turn the Kahootie down. Kahootie tootie.
Now they can't hear anything.
Well,
bad.
I've never actually seen Hamilton, but we're not going to worry
That's
about
a crime.
That's not a
That's a
crime.
crime.
that. Okay, alright. You know what's a crime? My soup. That's growing cold. That's the crime.
Okay.
Alright.
Oh my god. Okay.
Alright, so to whoever's watching, again, press that link inside the pins to the chat. Wait, hold on. Yeah, press the link in the pins on top of the chat and press the Kahoot where it will take you to a challenge. And go ahead and put in your name or scroll. I'm not sure which one it is, but yeah, don't press go, otherwise it'll directly start and you'll just fade away. So yeah,
Ooh.
I know, right?
Alright. Should we start? Or
You're
should we wait a few
awfully
minutes?
quiet.
What?
It's awfully quiet. I have not heard her talk. Well, there we go. That's the answer.
What?
What?
Never mind. Do you guys want to start?
That's what I was asking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, should we? Or should we?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking you. Oh, yes. Okay, let's start.
Okay.
Alright. Let's begin. A push unit 1 to 4. Alright, question 1. How did the technological innovations depicted in the picture help stimulate economic growth?
So, this is very long ago. But if you remember the Mississippian people, they were the ones who had like the mounds, right?
What are you? Wait,
What are
why are
you
you
talking
talking about that in this question?
What do you mean? Why am I talking
It's
about
asking.
Mississippian
No,
people?
it has the picture of the ships.
Steamboat.
Yeah.
Alright, time's up. It's a steamboat, first of all, with like the huge paddle wheel thingies. And its goal was to
And
introduce a faster and more efficient method of transporting goods and people.
Yep. And that was important
hold on.
because that was important because
We're gonna ignore what I was
yeah,
saying.
we are. And it was important because now farmers from like all around America could transport perishable goods a lot faster, and that opened up their business sphere a lot. And it also widened like communication between businesses and led to economic growth, like the problem. Or well, the question said.
This.
Yep.
Oh. I'm looking at the wrong question.
Yeah.
It's fine. I was on the document and I'm like, what?
No,
Okay.
go to the.
Keep going.
Alright, anyways, moving on to the next question. According to the excerpt, what caused the conflict between the French and the British? Well,
And
that
if you
didn't
guys
work.
are like having trouble reading the documents, we have like a Google Doc in the description so you can open it up.
Yeah.
You good, buddy?
No, I'm not good. Okay, alright.
You have a grand total of 8 people watching.
Okay, Duff. You can sass later.
Wow.
Yeah,
Alright,
I opened the
time's up.
same name doc, so it's fine.
So
It's
the
fine, it's
answer
fine.
was competing claims to colonial land. So if you read through this, like it says how like the French has envied us and like a long time they wanted to like have more land. Essentially, is what they're saying. Like, in one of the best of those colonies, Virginia, and in that part of it which lies on the River Ohio. Because if you don't remember, like the Ohio River was like one of those borders that were like highly controversial, like to who actually owns that part of the land.
Where like the land claims between the French and the British were like overlapping. It was in the Ohio River Valley, and they wanted that land because it was like rich in resources. So the British wanted to like colonize and settle, and the French were after their beaver pelts.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yep. All right. Next question.
Yep.
According to the excerpt, what is the recommended course of action? It's the same document as the one before.
Yep. The French. Alright. We're gonna ignore how the question that I thought was the first one's actually the fourth one. So
don't worry, guys.
Anyways.
Shadow's just really mad he left his soup.
I'm kind of mad I left my soup cold.
Oh, you left your soup cold.
Yeah,
So
well,
the
it's a
answer
hot
was
bowl of soup.
oh my god, just read it later. So the answer was conquer Canada. So the last part of the excerpt was excerpt was that Canada must be subdued.
Yes.
So like even though they didn't actually invade Canada in this document, it does say to recommend the British to invade Canada. So obviously in this case, negotiating with the French was a no, uniting the 13 colonies was also a no, and surrendering because the British are too strong is obviously also not going to be a no. Wait, no. Obviously also going to be a no. I can speak today. And the reason why I didn't want to unite the 13 colonies, as you can see here, was because uniting the 13 colonies was hard because they were like so far apart, like 16,000 miles. All right. Next question.
Right.
How were Mississippian people similar to other Native American groups in the pre-contact era?
All right,
Okay,
Shadow,
Mississippians were the ones with mounds. Yeah, so they were the ones with the mounds, if I'm not wrong. Or some of them. Some of them were the ones with mounds.
And the picture there is of a Kahoot mound. That's what they were called, or well, what the city was called.
Yep. So the answer...
And the answer is A. Their environment influenced
triangle.
society. Oh my, it's the same. Okay. Anyways, their environment greatly influenced their culture and that sort, as can be seen by the famous mounds, which they would have performed ceremonies on, etc., etc. Those were interesting. So they were definitely not nomadic. They did have religious practices, and they didn't really depend on fishing. A is more the correct answer choice here. So.
Like not all, like these different choices that aren't the triangle could apply to like different groups, but it's asking how they were similar to the other native groups, and in general you can say that the different native groups were impacted by the environment they lived in.
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Next question. Question 5. What is the main historical theme identified in Unit 2, which is from 1607 to 1754?
There is no theme. All right.
Oh, you're right. There is no theme. Let's just end the stream now.
Okay, Dove. All right. So remember what happened in Unit 2?
No one
Which
cares about
is-
Unit 2.
All
Okay.
right. So basically, some of our questions will have you like identify a historical theme across a unit, because let's say you're like writing a DBQ or an SAQ and it asks you something in that unit. If you're able to identify like the prominent historical theme in the unit, you'll be able to like better sort the information in your head if you know like how to sort it based on the development that happened.
Yeah. I mean, technically, you can apply a development to like anything,
Yeah.
but like mainly what they suggest
Yeah.
is
Yep.
that.
So the answer is change and continuity.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Ooh.
So think
So when
back
you-
to it. Yeah.
Oh, you can go.
So like think back to what that time period was. It was mostly just like the different empires trying to colonize the new world. So they're changing the environment. They're changing like the traditions of the natives by interacting with them and that sort. So obviously it's not going to be politics and power, because that there isn't like really a developed government yet. Geography and environment is not really that much impacted, and American and national identity, we don't even have the United States yet, so obviously that's a no also.
All right. So moving on.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question. Multi-select. Whoa. Which of the following examples could you use to answer this SAQ prompt? Briefly explain one example of how contact between Native Americans and Europeans brought changes to Native American societies in the period of 1492 to 1700.
Yep. So yeah. So remember what natives do. That's perfect English. Yep.
Just remember how they vibe, basically. You know?
The correct answers were A and B, or triangle and diamond, or red and blue,
Yeah.
or whatever you want to call it.
Or
A
the
and B.
top right rectangle and the
Hot
top
soup
left
and cold soup.
rectangle.
Oh my god.
All right, so oh, he can go.
Yeah. Okay. So natives. There was what was that called? Syncretism. For some reason, I thought of asyncretism, but I don't know if that's different
Religious
definition. But
syncretism.
syncretism. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, there was religious syncretism. I don't know what asyncretism is. It just popped into my head. But that also there was conflict between the natives and the Europeans. There wasn't increased availability of food. In fact, it decreased because competition. And the other one's implementation of three-assisted farming, which the natives already did. If you don't remember, now it's a good time to remember.
Wow.
All right, moving on.
All right, next question. Question 7. Based on the document, what was Pope's purpose in establishing the demarcation line he described in the passage?
Pope and Popeye, but this one's Pope because it's actually the
Yeah,
Pope.
it's actually a pope,
Not-
not the
not-
other guy.
Yeah.
If you say to establish time zones for long distance communication, I'm quitting.
That- All right. So time is almost up, maybe.
It's not like
really.
we can see it.
It's fine, Dove. But so remember, without even having to read that passage, you should be able to think about what happened. So the
Think
answer,
about what was happening in Europe.
yes. And remember the demarcation lines separating what and what.
So the answer is
Should we-
square.
Yeah. It wasn't very smart of him because he's like, okay, so we're just gonna draw a line here. So we don't know anything that's beyond this line, but that's yours. So but then here's the other thing. He couldn't enforce it either because it was like, I don't know, there was a cookie jar in the middle of the playground, and the two kids are like, okay, so I get like one cookie and you get like the rest of them, right?
Pretty
But then-
much.
But then there's like 6 other kids who are like next to the cookie jar. So
Yeah. They didn't consider the native populations that were already in those lands.
yeah, they
No
didn't
one care
consider
about them.
the
What
jar.
are you talking about?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, the fact that throughout history, this is a continuity you can put, but like throughout history, like I like constant, like no matter what side, like natives were always at like a loss. So it's really sad. But oh, hello, Hari. Did you finish your soup?
Think he did finish his soup.
Yes.
See, told you.
Yeah, I did exactly what he said.
Yep.
Yeah, guys, we
Should we
had a
move on to
team
the
soup dinner before this.
Totally.
Yeah, definitely. My soup is like cold by now, but we don't worry about that.
Cold soup. Oh my. Can we just like ban him?
See. Oh, I told them I might be late because of my soup.
Oh, hello?
Sometimes.
I completely forgot. I'm sorry. I'm here now.
You're good. No, I
Finish your
mean, he
soup
was
also?
finishing his
It's fine.
soup.
Yeah.
All right.
No, it's not like we're live right now and everyone's like there.
No, it's
Fine,
not.
fine. Nah.
All
Next
right,
question.
next question.
Move on.
What kind of Dbq prompt is this? Evaluate the extent to which the
It's-
Colombian
it's-
exchange and developing Spanish Empire in the West led to demographical, social, and economic change from 1491 to 1607.
Alright, so we're gonna have you like identify what kinds of DBQ prompts you could see, because if you like read the prompt and know right off the bat like what kind of theme or developments it's like revolving around, when you go to read your documents and form your thesis, you're gonna like know what information you're gonna want to pick out and how you're gonna want to like formulate your argument overall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do things by instinct, so like I don't know, but then I get the right answer. So
Yeah. I mean, you can vibe like that, but you know.
yeah, it's better to know.
So the answer for this one is change in continuity.
Yep.
Yep. Okay.
And like, I guess how you can tell how
Explain.
I can like, I like figured out it was change in continuity was, first of all, evaluate the extent to which blank and blank and blank led to like these changes. So obviously that's going to be change and like continuity.
Just focus on some keywords.
Yeah.
It's not cause and effect because you're already given the cause and the effects, and periodization is only like seen in LEQs.
Yep.
Oh boy, the next is it's our favorite person.
Oh, the person on the $20 bill.
Is the following political cartoon criticizing or supporting Jackson's policies, and which policies are they portraying? Oh my.
He is so controversial. He is so controversial. Anyway, we're not gonna worry about that. We're not gonna worry about that. It's not like, he did something completely horrible to natives, but we're not gonna worry about that. Either. We're just not. I love political cartoons. Why can't like the whole test be like a political cartoon?
I can't.
Just,
I can't.
Entire political cartoon.
Listen, why can't like, just us people? When you think about it, it does make sense.
I have no idea what you said, but I agree.
Yeah.
With you. Your mic just phased out.
Oh yeah, it does that.
It's fine. It's fine.
So
All right,
it's
Ding,
to
is it
criticize
time?
him. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, and his efforts to withdraw federal funds from the National Bank because he didn't like the National Bank and he was like, no money for you. And then he basically he basically tried to like destroy the National Bank by taking out government funds and placing them under other banks. Technically, he
In
kind of
state banks, yeah.
he
Individual
kind of
state banks.
paid for like stuff from the National Bank, so like that would run out. But yeah, he thought that the National Bank was like a tyrannical, system, and that it's against the common people. When Jackson like did something that's not in the Constitution, which he said it's fine, it's fine. We're
it's
not
alright.
gonna
It's
worry
alright.
about it.
The guy's
We're not gonna
only
worry
on the
about
$20 bill.
It's
And if you didn't know this, like stuff about Jackson in the political cartoon, I'm pretty sure one of the bags says the Treasury. So you like know it's like, oh, he doesn't like that.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
All right.
The
Next
rest
question.
don't really make sense. Yeah.
Seeing that devil face not look good.
Yeah. What is the main historical theme identified during Unit 1? The unit that people care even less about.
Okay, thank you.
Wait, hold on.
I am holding, but I'm not on.
Okay, all right. Are you sure we put the right answer? Because I think we didn't. It might just be me. So I think we put the wrong answer. But
Won't it be final?
Nah, I think we.
no, I think we put the wrong answer. I would have put mercantilism, because that was what.
What? Mercantilism in Unit 1?
Mercantilism doesn't come until like they
Unit
make
1
their
is all about the
colonies.
natives.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's European contact.
Mercantilism like Unit 2, Unit 3.
Right now,
I think you're right, but I'm iffy on it if it's American national identity, because if it definitely wasn't Unit 2, so Unit 1 would be even more iffier.
Well, 1491 to 1607, like, I don't even think the Roanoke colonies were there yet.
Yeah.
Was in like the 1500s.
The first colonies
late
were just
1500s.
settling. The first colonies were just settling. The slaves came to Virginia, not Virginia, one of the colonies in early 17th century, sometime around then, I think. But I don't think it's American national identity. It's definitely not manifest destiny, politics, and power, right?
Yeah, I don't think any of these are quite right.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you could say American and national identity is the most defensible one, because like even if America, or well, the US doesn't exist right now, the natives are on, they have their own identities, but like they're all kind of separated around, and their identities are super distinct from each other. And I guess you could count the different identities that were like coming from Europe, because they were coming from all around with their different like goals and stuff.
Are you sure it wasn't mercantilism? Because it was because of mercantilism that that Europe, for example, like Britain settled America, was because of mercantilism.
Can mercantilism be classified as like a
That's not a
historical
historical
theme?
though.
Are you
That's
sure?
more like
Okay,
a
we'll move
concept
on.
of
College Board
development.
CED. That's not one
Yeah,
of the
those are the
historical
ones
themes.
that we're using.
Yeah.
All right, next question.
Yep.
The first paragraph of the excerpt makes which of the following claims?
He doesn't.
All right, let's just end the stream.
Dove, why do you want to end the stream so badly, man? All right. All right. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. So we were wrong on the themes. We were right, but we were wrong. For Unit 1, it's American national identity. Unit 2 is politics and power. I don't know what we put before, but something like that.
Unit 1, we put American national identity if you're talking about the last question.
No, I'm talking about Unit 2. Because Unit 2, I don't know if we put politics and power. We might have. It might just be...
Well, the
Did we
units
get
can
to
have
Unit 2
multiple
themes?
themes.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, Unit 2, we put changing continuity. But like, I guess we should have put American and national identity as a multi-selectable answer.
Yeah, I will say that mercantilism is a big factor in Unit 1, though, because that's what Great Britain used to colonize America, and then the Americans didn't like it, and then it turned to capitalism. So that I'm pretty sure on, but I may be wrong.
That'll be more in the later units, so. Because Unit 1 is still its main focus is on Native Americans.
Yeah, I guess mercantilism comes in more in Unit 2, but
because the original colonies were made more by investors and stuff who, they paid for their own voyages, so the mother country didn't really extract anything.
Yeah, it was when the royal colonies started to become made.
Yeah, okay. So is the time up?
Yeah, it is.
Alright. So here we can see that the first paragraph of the excerpt claims that New England settlers varied in age more than the Chesapeake settlers. And this is true because if you remember the colonies up north, they were more they migrated for religious reasons. I can totally talk. And they came in family units because they were in pursuit of religious freedom. While as you go farther south, the migrants were more single young men who were looking to strike it rich.
Yep.
Duff, you sound extremely tired. I'm just saying.
Well, I don't want to scream into my mic.
You should.
No, I don't think the viewers will like that.
You don't know that. What if they like hearing people screaming?
All right.
Okay,
Anyways,
we're going to go survey. No survey.
All right.
Anyways,
moving.
So more young adults migrated to New England than to the Chesapeake. That's not right because, like Dove said, the Chesapeake colonies were more economic based. So there were miners and jewelers that came there for gold and that sort. New England Chesapeake settlers were both disproportionately young adults. No, because New England settlers, like Dove said, were family units. They came in religious families because they wanted religious freedom. Chesapeake settlers came in family units. No, that's also not right, like what we said before.
Right.
All right, next question. Which of the following best describes an overall argument of the excerpt?
Yep. And while you guys are reading, those of you guys who are joining us, click the Kahoot link in the pins, and also make sure to check out our notes on our website because we have much more detailed notes there. Unit 3 is 60 pages long, but it will really help you. So go ahead and go check those out. We also have podcasts for you guys to listen to, so you can multitask on other things while reviewing for your midterms. But back on the questions. I digress.
Shameless self-promotion. It's like Rage
Shameless
Shadow Legends. Alright. Is the time up or
no?
Because the screen's lagging.
Yeah, you can start explaining since this one might be long.
Our time's up.
Okay,
guess not. Alright. Does anyone want to explain? Because I feel like I've been talking too much.
Well, the prompt is a bit small for me.
You mean the passage?
Same difference. I can't really read it, but I get the gist from kind of viewing a few words.
It's the
But
same prompt as
it's
the
fine.
last one.
Yeah. So the
Yeah, I couldn't view either.
So the answer was the makeup of immigrant populations led to greater reconstruction of English family life in New England than it did in the Chesapeake. This kind of ties into what the previous question was asking. And if you like just know the differences between the colonies at this point in time, you'll be able to like answer this fairly easily. So because like the immigrant populations were like higher and like more stable, I guess you can say, in New England because there were like more family units, like we said previously, it will like change and like reconstruct the English family life because you're gonna have like various groups of people at work that are going to change like the society that they're in.
Yeah. One thing to note, New England, Chesapeake, and the South all had different like types of family that settled there. So
People.
that's also a note. So you guys can read those.
Well, that's more later on. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Shall
Okay.
we
Next question.
continue? Whoa,
Question
multi-select.
13. Multi-select. Based on the chart below, briefly explain one historical factor that contributed to the change depicted on the graph.
So the graph's talking about immigration to the United States by decade, 1859. It's by millions, and we can pick answers then. All right, this one should be fairly simple. Shouldn't be that difficult.
It's political turmoil and famine in Europe, as well as America's growing reputation for its political and economic freedom.
Yep. So potato famine in Irish, for example, led to a lot of Irish immigrants. There's
Irish
a lot
is
of
definitely a
religious
place.
conflict in Ireland. Okay, be like that, Dane. And there was a lot of religious disputes, which led to political refugees, I guess you can say, because then state and religions tied in. I mean, there's still state and religious tied in nowadays, but I mean, back in England or Great Britain, whichever name works for you, whatever helps you sleep at night, okay? And
Thing helps me
and
sleep
America
at
had
night.
yes, and America had a growing reputation because of the fact that so many diverse people settle it. So there's like a community for almost everything. Yeah, so some places were more freer than others, but overall it was more diverse. So
Yep. Depends on like which colony you're looking at, but overall it's better than Europe is what he's saying.
yeah, a lot of the stuff you can answer without actually looking at things if you know what it is. So that's just a pro tip for you guys.
Yep. Alright. Next question.
Woo.
Question 14. It's an SAQ question. A. Explain a major difference between the colonial settlement of the French, the Dutch, and English regarding one of the following: relations with Native Americans, settlement patterns, and economic initiative.
Okay.
So with these choices, we basically gave you like different developments that are either right or wrong for you to pick. We aren't actually like going to explain them in the answer choices because they won't fit, but that's okay.
Okay. Well, this one's pretty obvious. You just have to read the first few words for some of them. It's time up, Ding?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right. So the answer is triangle or A or red. or hot soup. So the British treated the natives the harshest, while Dutch and French used natives as trading partners and allies. So notably, how they treated them was vastly different. We didn't write Spanish, but the Spanish also treated them different. So yeah, it depends on the context and who's settled over. Who's typing?
Oh my
I'm
god.
sorry. I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's fine. and and so basically, like, yeah. So the British, the people who immigrated from Britain were like families, and meanwhile, for the Spanish, it was mostly single white young men, or maybe not young, but single white men. And
Okay.
well, well, yeah. The same can be said for Dutch and French. For them, a lot of them did not emigrate in families, so they were more likely to assimilate and that sort.
Yeah, they were mostly traders, and like some of them intermarried with the natives to increase like trade relationships.
Yeah.
So basically, their motives impacted like how they treated and got along with natives.
Yeah. One thing to note was how the completely did not, slip from my mind the word what I was looking for.
I can't even help you because all you said is the.
Yeah, I don't remember what I was. Oh, right. So the United States always treated natives as a foreign government, and throughout history they always did that. So just keep that in mind. They still do nowadays, I think, if I'm not wrong.
All right.
All right, next question.
So moving on.
We're gonna have to like zoom.
Yeah,
because
the
it's like
ideas in the
37.
document are most directly
Oh,
a
yeah.
reaction to which of the following. We gave this 90 seconds. Oh my.
You can just skip through it, I guess.
Yeah.
All
We'll
right,
give them some time.
Yeah, we'll give them some time, but like, I don't
Well,
know.
Give them like 30 seconds.
See you ready.
all right, 10 more seconds, and we're gonna.
10 more seconds?
Okay,
Man's
okay.
going quick.
All right. So the answer was the introduction of new taxes on the colonies.
So the key word here is in that line. I don't know how many sentences it is, but that without interruption enjoyed the inestimable right of being governed by such laws, rejecting that their internal policy and
Respecting?
taxation, as are from their own consent. So,
Respecting, though.
Oh, well, okay. I can't read,
It's fine.
guys.
You read that with such enthusiasm, and I could feel it coming from the deepest part of your soul. All right. So yeah, introduction of new taxes on colonies. So let's move on to the next question.
Yeah. What kind of Dbq prompt is the following? In what ways did the ideas and values held by Puritan influence the political, economic, and social development of the New England colonies from the 1630s to the 1660s?
So
again, look at like the keywords. So this one is also continuity and change over time.
CCOT. It's my favorite one.
It's also the most common one.
Like, yeah, it's the most common one. Unlike Lang, you can be basic in a push.
Wow.
In Lang, that's not an option. Well, am I wrong?
Lang is for loot. I'm playing.
For Lang, you need to develop your own voice. You don't need to do that for a push. I smell soup. Okay.
Oh my.
The image most directly reflects which of the following during the Spanish colonial era.
Oh my. Okay.
So you're telling me all of y'all have soup?
I didn't.
Yes. Okay, well, Ding's an exception.
This is a very professional question.
You're right.
So there
Your
are
mic
like
cut out again.
these like type of images are really common. There's like different variations of this.
And you should have seen this picture before. 'cause
Can you
it's
guys hear it?
familiar.
Okay,
But
yeah.
if you haven't seen it,
We can, but
yes. So the answer is, I don't know if Dean's time is finished.
Yeah, it is.
The answer is D. The development of race-based casta system, or casta, whatever you want to say it, however accent you want to say it as. But for the Spanish, they had that race-based caste system due to intermarriage between natives, blacks, I think, and whites. So all three of them.
Yep.
So,
And you
yeah.
can see like in this image like how they depicted what the people would usually
Depicted,
wear,
yeah.
as well as like the name like mestizo, morisco, and that sort.
And they ranked in order.
Mestizo.
Yep, yep.
Right. That's important. And notably, the natives had a casta system before the Spanish came. So that's one thing to know. I think, if I was not wrong, they had a casta system, or they had like a caste system in general.
Well, they had like, of course, they had like a thing that like sorted them in rank.
Yeah. But then
It wasn't
I
based on,
think
like,
it was
race or
more based
color.
on. Yeah, it wasn't based on that. I think it was because
next
they were all
question.
natives. Okay. Well, all right. I was about to explain, but that's fine. We're short on time.
The answer
Well,
for the
my
next
stream
question
moved,
is
So
Proclamation of
we didn't
1763.
even read it.
Well, it's
that's because we
Okay.
were
SAQ,
talking.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm not watching the stream, so it's fine.
All
It's fine.
right.
It's fine.
So it says identify one factor that increased tensions. Oh my gosh, the thing just disappeared off of my screen.
Between Great Britain and North Colonies.
North America.
In the period 1763 to 1776, and briefly explain how this factor helped lead to the American Revolution.
That's the
Someone wanna
SAQ.
explain?
Usually you just write like one small paragraph. So in this case,
Okay,
it's the Proclamation of 1763, because that's the time period that it gives you. I can English. So the reason why it's not alliances with the natives, because that's been happening way before 1763, and the Enlightenment, that was also a much longer lasting period of time. If you look at like the period of the Enlightenment, you can also see that it's not within the time period. And the Navigation Acts came before, so again, not within the time period.
I think it came much before.
Yeah. Like, I really don't like this SAQ question because it asks you to like actually know the dates of when events occurred, which is annoying.
I mean, most things do, but we're not gonna.
Usually,
worry
like,
about
you
that.
just need to know like the reference of time period, but we don't worry about it.
Yeah.
If you like remember the order in which things happen in, you'll be fine for most things.
Yep.
Did we explain
Next
what the
question.
Proclamation of 1760 was?
So basic rundown. So after the French and Indian War, the colonists were like, "Hey, can we settle westward?" British said no. They issued the proclamation because they knew they couldn't afford another fight with like the natives, who they knew would try to stop the colonists. So they made an agreement. But well, as you know, the colonists, they pushed westward anyway.
These were the
Right.
colonists. What do you expect?
Yeah.
So the answer
The
to
whole
this
reason-
question was social
Yeah.
reform and economic growth and development.
All right.
Anyone wanna explain?
No. s- All right. So this period of time, 1800s to 1848, was a much later period of time.
Whoa.
Whoa, I know, right? So yeah, so
Okay, I guess we move on.
Are we not gonna explain?
okay, well, so the
All
Civil
right.
War was 1861, right? So this was prior Civil War.
Yeah, Market Revolution. and
Mm-hmm.
the Second Great Awakening and all the other social reform movements that occurred during this era, along with the market revolution boosted the economy significantly during this
There were-
period.
Right.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right.
There was
I
also
didn't
the cult of domesticity where women like really powered through the role of the household and they became like teachers and all that different stuff. And you also saw the Lowell girls, which is like the first time women were like, I guess you could say, professionally employed.
Yep.
Yeah. We'll see developments for women's equality as time progresses. A lot. All right.
Much
So
later on.
right.
So the
So the
following
following
LEQ prompt is. So the prompt is evaluate the extent to which states over slavery in the period of 1840 to 1860 led the United States into the Civil War. Again, look at like the keywords that's in the prompt.
Yeah. Personally, for this one, I would do CCOT, but that's not what it's saying.
Causation and / cause and effect.
Yeah.
So the keyword here is led, and it's asking you to evaluate the extent to which debates led to slavery. So there's like different levels of causations and there's different levels of effects that you could like base your argument off of.
Yep.
Right.
And it's an LEQ, so it's just a lot of spewing information.
Yeah, so you just need to like make a list. That's the first thing you need to do is make a list of everything that happened during that time period. Even if you don't think it has anything to do with it, put it down because it will help you. Because staring at a blank piece of paper is not going to help you.
Yep.
Because that's what I do.
We need to move on. We might not finish.
Oh,
Okay,
no.
what are the overarching themes of Unit 3, which is 1754 to 1800s? Again, think back to what happened during this period.
Think about Hamilton and what happened.
Right.
Is the time up?
Okay.
Yep.
Alright, so we can see that American and national identity and America in the world are the right answer. It's obviously going to be America in the world because, you know, America is breaking off from Britain in the American Revolution and they're establishing their identity as an independent nation. And it's going to be American and national identity because we're also going to see them starting to develop their own government, which will come with their own ideas and they're like establishing of a new culture.
Yeah. You can see it in like artworks and novels from that period, like Moby Dick.
Yep.
Alright, question 22. The trend from 1660 to 1710 depicted in the table most strongly indicates which of the following?
Okay. So British colonial population. It's talking about the different colonies, different sections of the colonies. With black and white inhabitants. Okay.
Based on that alone, you should be able to get the right answer.
Yeah. So the answer is the rise of the transatlantic trade of enslaved Africans.
Yeah.
Yep.
So.
Okay. All right. Moving on.
I don't know if we should explain it or not.
I mean, you can just see as the more south you go, like the bigger the increase in black population.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on. Question 23. Which of the following was the most immediate result of the Supreme Court due to the following ruling? Yeah, John Marshall.
Marbury versus Madison.
Very important case.
It's totally. Oh wait, I'm thinking of the wrong question. Okay, the next question. One of the choices is kind of funny.
Oh.
Yeah, I might need to skip the time a little bit because We're not
I
gonna
think we
have
should
time
be
to
fine.
So the
finish.
answer is B, or diamond, showing its powers as a third branch of federal government, creating judicial review. So the key word there is creating judicial review. We're gonna ignore the abbreviations because we couldn't fit the question in,
Don't
but
worry about that.
or the answer choice. But yeah, so basically, during that or because of that case, the Supreme Court basically had the power to hand out judicial reviews or like repeal such things that it doesn't think is constitutional, etc., etc. But moving on.
Yeah.
The key word in the passage is, if you didn't know that, is that so that the court must either decide the case conformably to the law. Oh my gosh, I cannot read.
Yeah. Okay.
So the next
question.
what were the long-term results of the ruling below?
It's the same
Totally,
passage as
John
before.
Marshall was impeached for abusing the court's power.
All right. Yep. So because of the ruling, the Supreme Court had more power to overturn acts of Congress. So again, giving more power to the Supreme Court. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
The rest of the answers
So-
are obviously not right because none of these actually well, Sixth Amendment
Mhm.
happened, but it's a completely different thing.
Different story. Okay.
Last
What
question.
type?
What kind of DBQ prompt
Whoa.
is the following? Evaluate the extent of change in ideas about American independence from 1763 to 1783. I wonder what kind of prompt this one is.
I don't know.
I think it's periodization.
It's definitely that.
Do we even have to wait this one out?
Oh,
Okay.
just 2
It's
seconds
change
off
and
anyways.
continuity. That's fine. The answer is C, or circle, or something that's not soup. So
I mean,
this
it's
one should be
yellow.
pretty obvious. Should be pretty obvious. Change of continuity. And just keep in mind, a lot of these stuff that we're telling you, like themes, prompts, that sort, there are other answer choices to this. It's not just exclusive to this. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you can do a lot of different things as long as you answer the prompt. You can get the answer. So there are different methods that you can use to answer the prompt. No matter what method you use, as long as you answer the prompt, you can get the stuff.
We'll
Yeah,
get more
it's just
into
the
like
main
how to write
idea.
DBQs and those kind of questions later on in the year.
Next semester. Yeah.
Yeah. We're just
Um,
like identifying like the main thing the prompt revolves around.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, is that it? Because we
That's
don't
it.
have time to
Yeah.
go through DBQs.
Well, we
But
don't have
Dove,
time
you
for
had-
a meme review, but it's okay.
You can drop the link in the chat and in the description. They can go look at those. But those are pretty fun. You guys should look at those. But should we do the outro now?
Yeah, and about the memes, we will probably have like a link to those, or like the link to like a Quizlet set in our notes that can be found on our website. So go check those out over the weekend. We should hopefully have a study guide and other fun stuff for you to look at.
Yep.
It's just completely not working. That's okay. My mic is working now. Sorry, Hari and Go-Go Juice, who joined later on, but it's fine. It's fine. You guys might have been lost when we were going through the question. It's okay. All right. So thank you everybody so much for joining. Make sure you check out our websites. We have notes, podcasts, and a bunch of resources for you guys to use to study for your midterms/finals. Make sure you like, subscribe. It would be so much helpful for you guys if you like and subscribe, because it tells us what content you guys like, which subjects we have more students in, etc., etc. And yeah, so it just supports us, and it's just a click of a button. So you guys really should do that. But go ahead and check out our Spotify, because we have podcasts there where you guys can listen to them and multitask, do other stuff, whatever. But thank you everybody so much for watching. Make sure you drink your soup, and we'll see
Oh,
you guys next time.
God.
My soup
Yeah.
is cold at this
Anyhow,
point.
stay tuned if you want to hear Hari, because you know the stats podcast next.
Yes. Oh, yes.
yeah.
Stats is cold.
All right. Bye,
Alright.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
See you next time.
I'm gonna stay here.